Alright, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to show you guys how to log on to CBWorks, how to log into CB University, how to register for a there's two different types of classes that you can take. You can take the self-paced LeadRouter class, or you can take the webinar class, or you can take both. And you can take them as many times as you want, and they're free. Okay? So this is basically how you're going to do it. First of all, I'm going to open up a fresh page here. Let me just get a blank page. Now, if you're not familiar with Coldwell Banker Works, I was already logged on, so everybody knows how to log on to Coldwell Banker Works. Matter of fact, no, let's start fresh. Let's not do what I just did. Let's do what I said I was going to do. I want to go to CBWorks, which I do have saved in my favorites. Now, I was logged on this morning, so it's going to already take me as if I was logged on. I'm going to log out and log back in. For those of you that have never been to CBWorks, this is what you should get. And it's not a www.cbworks.com. If you can see the address up top, which I'm sure you can, it's the http:// cbworks.coldwellbanker.com. There is some other language up there, but don't worry about it. If you've never logged in before, this is the screen that you get. If you've never been here before, you're probably going to struggle on getting logged in the first time. For most all of you, your username is your email address. And it is whatever email address that you have set up within Coldwell Banker. It could be your CBTC SoCal address, it could be an AOL address, whatever you have said you want your username to be. It will set it up. Mine is lance@pioneerrealestate.com. You've got your password, of course. Now, if I'm going to click the arrow and it's going to log me on. If you click the arrow and it says you've given some bad information, a bad username and a bad email or bad password, it's just like any other program. Click here if you forgot your username. Click here if you forgot your password. Assuming you are in the system, and what I mean by in the system, you're in our system, you're in Lucero and you're in Crest, the system will find you and it will say, oh yeah, you work at Coldwell Banker Town and Country in Claremont, here's you, and click the button and they'll send you a revised password and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Should be fairly simple for you to get in if you've forgotten or lost your password. Once you log in, I just click the little arrow. This is what your CBWorks should look like. Now mine may look a little different because I'm the broker, owner, manager, administrator, so there may be a few things on my, for example, you don't have one that says recruit and retain. Recruit and retain is, hey, let's get some agents in here and let's keep some agents in here. So you're not going to have that sort of stuff. But basically it'll look the same. And there's, by the way, there's multiple places to get to the same place. All right? So in other words, what we want to do right now is we want to go to Coldwell Banker University, which on my screen is right in the middle. I don't know if anybody's following me. I don't see anybody with a computer popped up. But if you do not have a link that says Coldwell Banker University in the Browse Popular section, you can always find it, and this is the same on your CBWorks. On the lower left-hand corner, there is a Quick Links and Favorites tab. It takes you to the same place. You can go to the Quick Links. You can scroll down. Actually, you don't have to scroll down. There it is. Coldwell Banker University registration site. That will take you to the same place as this. And quite honestly, if you're completely lost, you can just do a search for Coldwell Banker University. But for time's sake, I'm just going to click on Coldwell Banker University. And it's going to take you to this page. You're getting close, but you're not there yet. Okay? And you basically say, well, who am I? Well, I'm a sales associate, I'm a university registration site. This is where people get confused. And I talked to the people at the help desk at Coldwell Banker and I said, just make one button. Take me to Coldwell Banker University. All right? There's 4 different options here. If I was you, frankly, probably the first button I would pick would be Sales Associate Learning Portal. Makes sense. You can click on that, but you have to go to 3 or 4 other clicks to get where I want you to go. So, Coldwell Banker University registration site. Just think of that as, I want to register for a class. Okay, I want to take a class. So just remember the registration site. When you get to the registration site, you are now going to be, again, at a landing page. I don't know why this landing page is here, because it forces you to click continue. So there's an extra button in here. And then when you continue, it now takes you to this. Now this looks a little different visual on the website. I visually can tell I've left CB Works now. When I was here, I felt like I was in CB Works. That looks like CB Works if you guys have been there. This doesn't look like CB Works. This looks like a different site. And you are now finally to the site that says Coldwell Banker University registration site. Now, I only want to talk about LeadRouter classes today, but there are literally dozens and dozens of different classes, most of which are free, because as Norm or Paul and I have told you guys over the last year or so, I've already paid for them. I spend about $6,000 a year so that you all can basically have access to these classes. They're not all free, but most of them are free, and you'll figure them out real easy because it says price 0, okay? And that is specific to you working in this office, okay? Not that I want to make this into a commercial for Coldwell Banker Town and Country, but if you have somebody across the street or somebody at Coldwell Banker, Millennium or whatever it happens to be, if their broker's not paying, then they'll get to that class and their fee will be $60 for something that yours is free. But at any rate, right on, once you get to the university page, in the very middle, popular CBU courses, the very bottom is one that says LeadRouter. All right, and that's what we're trying to get to. And I click on the LeadRouter class. Since I clicked on the LeadRouter class, it's basically taken me to a search box. It's already got the LeadRouter in there. I could click search, but the bottom line is it's already given me my results. And I have to scroll down. And these are the classes that are available for Coldwell Banker, for LeadRouter. Now, a lot of these classes, as a matter of fact, I bet you $1 there's nobody in here that's taken all of these classes. Now, some of them are not for you anyway. For example, advanced admin training. Well, that's for the administrators. That's for me and for Paul and for Rebecca. Okay, you're not. Matter of fact, I don't think it'll even let you take that class. Okay, but the class that you're looking for, there's 2 of them. Okay, the main one that you want is, look for the word mandatory. Okay? CB LeadRouter Mandatory 2.0 Agent Training. Coldwell Banker University Center, $0. Gives you a basic description of it. Okay? You click on that. This is, by the way, this is the online webinar. Alright? So, and I do recommend you all take it. And frankly, even if you've taken it before, but you don't really remember, or maybe you haven't been using LeadRouter, and keep in mind, this is not all about LeadRouter. We're talking about LeadRouter, but Paul mentioned earlier coldwellbanker.com, email problems. This is all tied together. And I think we've done a poor job in the last year explaining this to you guys. Now, this is the description of your class. I have had problems. Let's mark the tape right here. I have had problems with agents saying, Lance, I did everything you said. I went to the class and I didn't see anything about the class. Okay, didn't see. Well, you got to scroll down. Okay, because the information you want is not on the page. It's down on the scroll bar. So when you scroll down, it will give you the next available class that you can take to do the webinar. The next available class is Monday, August 22nd. At 2 p.m. Eastern, ending at 3 p.m. Eastern, so 11 o'clock to 12:30, I guess. There is no location. It is a webinar, okay? Don't worry about that. It says that they only take 36 people, okay? I don't know. I guess their fee doesn't allow 100 people on the class at the same time, so they limit it to 36. There is not a waiting list, which tells you that you should be able to register for this class right now. If there is a waiting list, then it would say, and the reason they don't have another class posted, normally if there's a waiting list, there's another class below it that says, okay, there's another class 2 days from now. And they normally do 2 a week, okay? I was a little surprised because I haven't logged on to look at this in probably about 6 months. Normally, I've never been on this site where there hasn't been at least 2 a week, and they used to hold them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It was automatic. I'd say just go on, block off a time, Tuesday and Thursday, you're good to go. But anyway, maybe the registration has diminished and they don't need to have that many classes anymore. But right now, if you have not taken the mandatory LeadRouter class, you can log online. More than likely, you can get into that class next Monday at 11 a.m. And all you got to do is you click the request button. Okay? And it's basically now put me into mandatory class, and I'm registered for it August 22nd at 11 a.m. Now I'm on so that's all you got to do. So to register for the class, and again, I know I've been talking for 5 minutes about that, so go back and you can watch the tape. It's pretty simple. Get to CBU, get to LeadRouter, mandatory 2.0 class, click register, or request rather, and it'll put it on your Coldwell Banker University basically your agenda. Okay. Now let's go back. I want to show you another class. We're going to go back to the home, and this one might be. Frankly, I suggest you do both of these. Okay. May not be necessary, but I'm going to go back to where we started. Popular sites, LeadRouter. There's another class in here, which is basically the same class, but instead of doing it as a webinar, it's completely self-paced and you do it at your leisure. And you want to go down for the, anybody see it?
Yeah, third from the bottom.
Third from the bottom. Yes, here it is. LeadRouter Mandatory Agent Training Online. Don't get confused with online as in webinar online. It's not like that. Self-paced. If you want to click on that class, or you want to take that, and you can take both, no problem. You click on that. It's now basically, well, it's telling me I've already registered, okay, which I have. I wanted to make sure this worked. I hate to do things dry. So I've already registered for the class, so it's not letting me register again. But if I had not registered, it would basically give me a screen that says, hey, you've just registered for this class. And on this self-paced class, it is just that. It is self-paced. So now that I'm registered for both of these classes, obviously the webinar class, I have to go to the webinar in order to, Monday at 11 o'clock, and I participate. You log in, and they do recommend that you use a headset. Not necessarily required, but you do not want to take the webinar sitting in the bullpen here in the office. Okay, get yourself, either there or do it at home or do it at a place where it's quiet. Okay, it's going to be a little difficult and distracting to do that. But now that I'm registered, I'm back at the CB University class. It's now, well, forget about Monday. I'm going to take the class on Monday, but I want to get going. I want to get learning today. I want to do my self-paced class. Okay. At your home screen, and by the way, this is all unique to you. When you log on to CB Works, and then you then log into Coldwell Banker University, the system knows it's you. Okay, so you have your own unique bubble there. Okay, so this is not a shared deal. This is unique to whoever's logged in. Anyway, now I want to start my self-paced class. I click on the Learning button. I can look at the calendar, but I'm going to go to View My Transcript. Click on View My Transcript. And this will tell me all of the classes I've already taken, along with all of the classes that I've signed up for and maybe have yet to take. Okay? Here is my LeadRouter Mandatory 2.0 training. It says that I'm registered, and this is the class for Monday, August 22nd, 2011 at 11 a.m. Okay? Don't get confused by that, because it knows that I'm on the West Coast, so it did the calculation on the time change. I've had agents have kind of fouled that up a little bit. They looked at the thing and they said, oh, well, last I looked, that was Eastern time, so it looks like my class starts at 8 a.m. Well, no, it doesn't. On the actual, before you register for the class, it tells you what the Eastern time zone is for the class. Once you've registered, it figures out where you're at, and it tells you your class starts at 11 a.m. Okay? So there's my class. Now I have a couple of options. If I decide I don't want to take the class anymore, I can cancel it right now, which is what I am going to do, because I do not want to, I don't want to fill a seat for a class I'm not going to attend. That's not fair. There's only 36 spots. I don't want to waste one. So I'm going to withdraw from this class, but before I do that, below the withdraw button, is the launch button. Next Monday, 10:55, 5-10 minutes before the class starts, you log back into Coldwell Banker Works. You go to Coldwell Banker University, you click on your learning button, and you click the launch button. The launch button launches you into the webinar. Okay? And then you basically take the webinar. You're good to go. So I'm not going to do that, and I am going to withdraw from this class, so I'm going to, it'll probably prompt me and say, are you sure you want to do this? Yep. So I'm just going to withdraw, and oops, wants to know why I've withdrawn. And I'm going to withdraw because I have a conflict. Okay. So now I'm back to my library of what I have available to take. And you can see it has on here, by the way, it still says, hey, you registered for it, but we withdrew. Now the online self-paced class, I've also registered for. Now on this particular class, I can launch this anytime I want. This is self-paced. So if you've got an hour or two, tonight, midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever you want, you grab the class you want, you click the launch button, and it basically walks you through the class. Okay? Now, that is basically everything you need to do to get certified and registered to use LeadRouter. If you do not do that, you cannot use LeadRouter. And it's not a www.cbworks.com. If you can see the address up top, which I'm sure you can't, it's the http:// cbworks.coldwellbanker.com. There is some other language up there, but don't worry about it. If you've never logged in before, this is the screen that you get. If you've never been here before, you're probably going to struggle on getting logged in the first time. For most all of you, your username is your email address. And it is whatever email address that you have set up within Coldwell Banker. If you work at Coldwell Banker Town & Country in Claremont, here's you, and click the button and they'll send you a reprised password and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Should be fairly simple for you to get in if you've forgotten or lost your password. Once you log in, I just click the little arrow. This is what your CB Works should look like. Now mine may look a little different because I'm the broker, owner, manager, administrator, so there may be a few things on my, for example, you don't have one that says recruit and retain. Recruit and retain is, hey, let's get some agents in here and let's keep some agents in here. So you're not going to have that sort of stuff, but basically it'll look the same. And there's, by the way, there's multiple to it. First of all, I'm going to open up a fresh page here. Let me just get a blank page. Now, if you're not familiar with Coldwell Banker Works, I was already logged on, so everybody knows how to log on to Coldwell Banker Works. Matter of fact, no, let's start fresh. Let's not do what I just did. Let's do what I said I was going to do. I want to go to CB Works, which I do have saved in my favorites. Now, I was logged on this morning, so it's going to already take me as if I was logged on. I'm going to log out and log back in. For those of you that have never been to CB Works, this is what you should get. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're basically going to show you guys how to log on to CB Works, how to log into CB University, how to register for a there's two different types of classes that you can take. You can take the self-paced LeadRouter class, or you can take the webinar class, or you can take both. And you can take them as many times as you want, and they're free. Okay? So this is basically how you're going to do it. It could be your CBTC SoCal address, it could be an AOL address, whatever you have said you want your username to be. It will set it up. Mine is lance@pioneerrealestate.com. You've got your password, of course. Now, if I'm going to click the arrow and it's going to log me on. If you click the arrow and it says you've given some bad information, a bad username and a bad email or bad password, it's just like any other program. Click here if you forgot your username. Click here if you forgot your password. Assuming you are in the system, and what I mean by in the system, you're in our system, you're in Lucero and you're in Crest, the system will find you and it will say, oh yeah,